So after 8 long years, I thought she was going to stay there forever. Scotland's First Minister, Dolores Nicola Sturgeon, has resigned. I'm not shocked at the fact she's resigned. I don't think many people are either. I think we're just more shocked at the fact it took this long. The controversy she was involved with would have been impossible to come back from and gain a better reputation. It all started with a gender recognition reform bill where they were pushing to allow 16-year-olds to now change their gender. As I've said previously, you know, they want short-term happiness for potential long-term pain. I don't have to go into the details why. You know why. Thankfully, the UK government decided to block that. Then on top of that situation, they had the Isla Bryson situation. They were going to include a trans woman, so a biological dude, who had committed R-word crimes in a woman's prison. No, I'm not joking. Even just saying that is kind of making me lose some brain cells. How anybody could have advocated for that in the very first place is just beyond me. I mean, Nicola Sturgeon can't even define what a woman is, apparently.
Do you consider Isla Bryson to be a man or a woman?
Look, I am not getting into an interview. This case is still sub judice apart from anything else. In light of the concerns, it was right for me to say what I did, but the individual case is still sub judice, and it's important for me as First Minister to respect.
But you believe people should be able to self-identify their gender?
What I would say is this individual case, it's not about whether they are trans or not. In this individual case, this is a person who's been convicted of rape. So this individual is a rapist, and that is what is important.
So yeah, those are the sort of people who are in charge. Anyway, I was waiting for her to give her speech because I didn't want to make 2 separate videos, and I was kind of intrigued to hear what Nicola Sturgeon was going to say. Trust me, it's very emotional, it brings a tear to the eye. I can't imagine how Scotland must be feeling. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
So today I am announcing my intention to step down as First Minister and leader of my party. I have asked the National Secretary of the SNP to begin the process of electing a new party leader, and I will remain in office until my successor is elected. I know there will be some across the country who feel upset by this decision and by the fact I am taking it now. Of course, for balance, there will be others who will, how should I put this, cope with the news just fine. Such is the beauty of democracy. But to those who do feel shocked, disappointed, perhaps even a bit angry with me, please know that while hard, and be in no doubt, this is really hard for me, my decision comes from a place of duty and of love. Tough love, perhaps, but love nevertheless for my party and above all for the country.
Yeah, it's all very touching, isn't it? Look, she will be remembered, I'll give her that. She was in that position for 8 years. That is a remarkable achievement. She'll be remembered by the people who love her and obviously the people who don't. Now, I'm not Scottish. I think the accent probably gives that away, right? So I don't know what the public reaction really is. But if social media, Twitter, Instagram is anything to go by, the main reaction is, well, let's celebrate. Right? I may be wrong, let me know in the comments below. It may not be the same in public life, but so many people are happy on social media. She has decided to resign. I mean, in England, we didn't really hear much of her anyway up until this gender debate. And when we did hear of her, all she did was cry about Scottish independence and how every other politician were doing terrible things and they were doing things all wrong, almost as if she was the perfect politician herself. Right? I mean, if she was remembered for anything else in this country, again, let me know in the comments below. But I saw an interesting stat, and this is going away from Nicola Sturgeon herself. She kind of relates to it, but it is very interesting. Since 2019, when the general elections happened, all the big party leaders have resigned. We no longer have Boris Johnson, Jeremy Corbyn, Joe Swinson, Nicola Sturgeon now, Nigel Farage and Sean Berry. Does this not show you, regardless of where your political allegiances lie, how incompetent our politicians are in the UK, especially in England as well? This is a bit off topic, I know, but we had, Boris Johnson, and then Liz Truss, and then Rishi Sunak in such a short amount of time. And then in 2 years, we're going to have a new one. We will have a new one. It's going to be Keir Starmer. God save us all. He can't even define what a woman is. It is such a shame, right? And maybe I'm speaking for a lot of people here, but it is such a shame we don't have a politician, especially in England, who can just grab the bull by the horns and set things straight and know what the people truly want. It feels like all of these politicians are just so out of touch with the people they're supposed to represent, and yet they stay in power somehow, some way. I really don't understand how they get these jobs. I don't, because it seems like they just wing things all the time, and then when something bad happens, they blame everybody else apart from themselves. However, that is a separate video for another day. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, if I carry on down that route, I will not stop. We'll be here for like an hour. Maybe I should make an hour-long video about the state of UK politics. But back to Nicola Sturgeon. This could obviously be a really good thing for Scotland or a really bad thing for Scotland. It can only really go one of two ways. It could get somebody in who has common sense, knows what a woman is, just gets the job done and does things that truly benefit Scotland, or they could get somebody along the lines of Nicola Sturgeon, and maybe a lot worse. Apparently, according to Twitter, it can't get much worse. But if they get somebody worse than Nicola Sturgeon, the culture war especially will be rampant. I imagine it will get out of control. So it is going to be interesting to see who they bring in. It is very hard for me, I'll let you know, to comment on Scottish politics as a whole, because, well, I'm not Scottish, so I don't know who's going to be running. I don't know what candidates there are. Maybe there are some decent people, some younger people who can make a load of change in Scotland, some great change. But back to Nicola Sturgeon herself, the recent controversy she's been involved with deserve no other treatment whatsoever. And maybe this is controversial for me to say, but after the whole Isla Bryson situation, she should have been fired on the spot. This woman's a feminist. She's known as a feminist. So she's supposed to heavily care about women's safety, as we all should do. But then she goes ahead and almost puts women's safety in jeopardy, putting a biological dude who R-worded 2 women around other women, just because, oh, he claims to now be a woman. She did all of that. For what? To appear progressive, diverse, right? A notion which, by the way, that led to 4 in 10 voters wanting Sturgeon to resign. Well, they got their wish, didn't they? This should be a prime example of what happens when people, politicians, play with progressive movements just to suit a certain narrative, a certain agenda. And Keir Starmer especially should be watching, should be looking at the fallout of this, because I truly believe this is going to be a big thing in the next general election. I really do. This whole gender debate is going to be a big thing. And as we know in the past, he doesn't know how to define a woman. So he should be asked again, what is a woman? How do you define a woman? Because in my opinion, and this might be controversial to say, but in my opinion, you cannot have somebody in a high position of power, any positions of power, and they don't know how to define, or they won't define, or they're scared to define what a woman is. Because we're in the age of women's safety, as I said, we should be, but these very same people will then try and invalidate females because they're scared of the woke mob. We can't have that. We can't have these politicians who are going to be making these rules. I'm sorry, we just can't. But again, a route we don't need to go down. Otherwise, I will go on and on and on. As I said, I will make another video on the state of UK politics because it's not great right now, let's be honest. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll end this one here. What do you think about Nicola Sturgeon? Do you think she should have resigned? Do you think this is going to be a good or bad thing if you live in Scotland? I'm very interested to find out, and I think a load of people are as well. If you have enjoyed today's video, then please, for me, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that big red subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Please, for me, make sure to always have a great day and stay safe. I'm out. Peace.